Good afternoon. We are Team Yolo Swag. We're here to make recommendations on the attendance and awareness of the St. Edward's Music Department. My name is Luis Gomez, and these are my colleagues, Matt Switzer, Jack Killen, and Dylan Kendrick. Matt Switzer will present the purpose of the report. Jack Killen will be presenting the primary research. Myself will be talking about the secondary research and the conclusion and findings. And Dylan Kendrick will be talking about the recommendations. I will now hand it off to Matt, who will talk to you about the purpose of the report.
Hi. As Luis said, I'm Matt. I'm going to be talking about the purpose of the report. So first of all, we're going to be talking about why attendance and awareness in the events are lacking. Second of all, we're going to be identifying why these problems are important. We're going to talk some about some strategies that you could implement in order to help solve these problems, and talk a little bit about the benefits of solving these problems. So before we started as a group, we were approached by you, Joseph, and you were experiencing difficulties in a few areas. The main ones were drawing awareness and attendance to the events, marketing the department, recruiting players to play for the department, and fundraising for the department. We decided to choose the awareness problem. We felt that through primary and secondary research, we could formulate some ways that you could figure out how to better draw awareness and attendance to your events. So a few of us have actually personally gone to some of the events, and we kind of got a first-hand understanding of what's going on. Like, I've personally been to a performance that was at the Huddle, and it seemed like the lack of attendance was like a little demoralizing to the performers, because what I witnessed was there was maybe like 5 to 10 people in the Huddle, and they were there to eat, and really seemed like they didn't have any prior knowledge of the event itself. So seeing that kind of influenced our decision in why to choose this topic. That's all I have. I'm going to hand it off to Jack.
Hello everyone, my name is Jack Killen, and I'm going to be taking care of the primary research for awareness. When we were doing the primary research, we wanted to have that 95% confidence rate. That was absolutely key when we were making our observations, because to really kind of find out what's going on, you have to have the right facts and you have to have the right statistics. So that was imperative to get that down first. So we made sure, and we reached our 95% confidence rate. We passed out surveys to reach the opinion of the student body. We passed out to faculty, undergraduates. I stood outside of Moody just handing out flyers saying, come on, chasing people down. But the importance is to reach the body, find out exactly what are they thinking, and to get their opinions so we can better the music department that you came to us with. One thing that I noticed when we were going through the primary research is the difference between a true and a casual fan, and we like to split up these demographics to better aid us in our analysis. What I categorize as a true fan is someone who's going to be going to the performances and saying, oh, lab band, tonight, let's go, let's hit it up. And someone who's a casual fan might be like, oh, you want to get a coffee, and oh, the lab band's playing, like we should just probably stay here for a little bit and chill out. So really kind of deciphering those two types of people and how are we going to meet the needs of those two kinds of demographics was really important in our findings. We passed out surveys. We passed out surveys to students, professors to reach the general opinions of the school. And we collected primary data both in and outside of class. So it was both in a professional setting, just like here, and it was also outside of class, over at friends' houses, who were also sitting there with students saying, hey, what do you think about this matter? Can you take 5 minutes to fill this out? And we found out that age and class were the biggest factors in deciding awareness. So that's a little bit interesting fact right there. Primary research helped form observations by directly reaching those that were trying to find out what their opinion is. So by going to the student body, passing out these surveys, I think it really helped us because we find out exactly what's on their mind, what do they want to hear, and how can we make it so attendance is actually booming and not lacking. And our primary research helped form our recommendations, which we will cover later in our presentation. And I'm going to hand it out to Pontius, who will be doing our secondary research.
Okay, just to show off on like the graphs here for primary research, the attraction to the events, the blue, I did not label it correctly, I'm sorry. The blue basically means like main lawn, how many people want to go to the main lawn with either areas such as Joe's Huddle, like the location of the events. The attraction to the events is basically free food, free food and like extra credit, stuff like that. I'm not going to present the secondary research, and first I'm going to talk to you guys about a survey done in 1968, and it kind of made a survey to see what attracts people to, like, what do successful events, how do they attract people, and who are those people. And then I'm going to talk to you about a good model to follow, which is sporting events. So here is some of like the information of like the survey, and basically 25,000 students were surveyed, 18,000 responded, and the events were separated into 4 categories such as cultural, athletic, musical, and social events. The findings of this survey basically say that students want to go to events to socialize, and there's a lot of factors that play into this, such as age, gender, like class, what types of events, and we came into to find out that a lot of people want to go to a lot of these events, like athletic events or musical events, because they want to be entertained. And so there's a bunch of we found out like it's the people who want to go the most are undergraduates, and the lower the age are, the more they want to go. So like freshmen want to socialize more to meet new people, but as you go with more people who are like older, like graduates, they already know a lot of people, so maybe they don't necessarily want to go to these events to meet people. So a big thing is socializing. Underclassmen also go to a lot more events because they just want to like find out like about groups maybe, or just see what's on campus. One thing we did find is that through this survey that there could be a barrier to entry for a lot of these events. Like for athletic events, maybe you don't know who the teams are. Maybe you don't like the sport, or maybe there's a rabid fan base that you don't know if like something that you don't jive with maybe. And for like musical events, that's probably maybe something like it can affect like what genre they're playing, who is even playing. Is it like choir? Is it jazz? And so to just find out what makes this successful, just to see like just a lower barrier to entry. That's what we found out. The other secondary research that I did was to see what is a good model to follow, which is like sport events. Sports are generally really successful because you get a lot of people together in one area to get entertained, and they get entertained, and it's separated, just like Jack said, into 2 categories: your true fans and your casual fans. The true fans are always going to go because they support the teams. They don't really care how much it costs. They want to go support the teams and like just be entertained by the game. The casual fans want to go and socialize and be entertained, but maybe they don't necessarily care about the outcome. So for something like a musical event, this could all hit to like maybe they want to go to a hip hop show. If they don't, they want to go to a hip hop show if they don't like, because they like hip hop, or maybe they want to go to a jazz show because they like jazz. Maybe not necessarily because they know who's playing, but they just want to know. They just want to see something that they like. They can probably be entertained by. So I'm now going to talk to you about the findings and conclusions of primary research and secondary research. First findings and conclusion is that people want to go see shows on the main lawn. It's a big area, and that's like the service that we got back from people. A tremendous amount of people just wanted to go to be on the main lawn. The second conclusion of primary research is free food. Free food is like another big thing. People really wanted free food over things like extra credit, etc. The genre that people wanted to see the most was actually jazz. People voted for jazz. Second, it was hip hop. Third was other. And most of the people are usually free during the afternoon, so that's when they can be able to see shows. Maybe they're out of class, they don't have homework, they can just relax and see a show after class in the afternoon. The secondary research basically showed out that like the main lawn is bigger for a lot of social interaction. So if you go to like Joe's, it's probably a small area. You can probably interact with a lot of people, but you don't want to be too noisy because it could be like a quiet show. I've been to the jazz shows and Joe's, and I didn't really feel like I could talk to someone who might be a little bit rude. So in the main lawn, people can interact with each other and be like, oh, hey, I like this band, like, or just keep talking while enjoying some music. You need another big thing that we found out is we need to distinguish the casual fans from the main fans. The main fans are always going to know when the events are. They're going to always support it because that's what they enjoy. Casual fans, not so much. We need to cater to them first, or we have to cater to them more because they're like, that's what they make up the majority of the people in the event. And I am now going to hand it off to Dylan for the recommendations.
As Panchi said, I'm Dylan. I'm going to be giving you our recommendations for our whole studies we've been doing. First recommendation we have come up with is have the events on the main lawn. I mean, the weather in Texas is awesome. It's usually sunny. You want to use that big space. We're going to want to have events out there. And one thing that is going to bring into play is you're going to have to plan things out better because there is still possibilities for bad weather, and there's more things that go wrong outside, so it'd be a little bit better to just be more organized in that situation. Another recommendation would be to try and have some type of food at the events, not necessarily having to come out of the instrumental department's pockets per se. Maybe you could contact vendors locally and get some type of promotion thing. You could help them out and they could help you out. I think that would be a good route to go. Seen that that's worked before with different organizations. Our research said that people were slightly aware, and we want to increase the literature we have around campus for all the events that are going on. But one thing we did want to do, but it's really easy to pass up these pieces of literature that are on the bulletin boards everywhere. But we wanted to maybe, if we could get someone from the music department, have them playing their instrument in between classes in those high traffic areas. Class gets out at a normal time, they have it there, and then they're like, wow, I don't know, you're playing your saxophone there, and people can just they get like a little taste of it. So then someone else can come and you can give them, personally hand them the piece of literature, you can give them the event paper, and I think that would be a lot more effective than just having it posted on a bulletin board so they may or might not look at it. Showed that jazz was the most popular genre here. We're going to want to do more jazz events, hopefully, since our findings have shown that that's the most popular. And then afternoon is the most popular time that people would be around to see the show, followed closely by evenings. I would have thought evenings more, so this is an interesting piece of information. This kind of goes with the outdoors too. You want to have it during the afternoons, and then the outdoors give you like a sunny type of event. Have these people socializing, have everybody together, more room for more people to see all the shows, and I think that would be great things for the music department. I'm going to hand it off to Ponchis to conclude our report.
So, just to conclude, just to recap, Matt talked about like the purpose of why we did this report, like what the problems were, just to like identify what we needed to look at. Jack talked about the primary research and our results from our surveys that we did. I talked about the secondary research and like the two models that I found from survey and from sports events. And Dylan talked about like what are the recommendations for our report. And just in summation, basically we need to increase more advertising. Shows should be on the main lawn. Free food is probably encouraged. The types of music were jazz and hip hop, and the times of the event. So basically, like in the afternoon. And I just want to thank you all for listening. Thank you, Joey, for listening to our presentation. And any questions?